Do you know the name Sam Huard? He was once a five-star recruit to the University of Washington. If I told you and you didn't know anything about him other than he was once a five-star recruit, he's a left-handed quarterback, for whatever that's worth. Some people are more interested in that than others. Washington recently had success with a left-handed quarterback. So anyway, I digress. If I just told you he was a five-star quarterback, he was playing at Washington, and he transferred out, where do you think he played football last year? The answer is Cal Poly, which is an FCS football program. So when Sam Huard put his name back into the transfer portal to find a new home, I had two thoughts. Number one, don't think I've ever seen this from a five-star quarterback recruit before. And he had a fine year, 18 touchdowns against 10 interceptions, though, at Cal Poly. And when you do that sort of digging and think about his career trajectory, my second thought was, I don't think this is a Power 5 starter. You just should not get caught up in the stars here. Look, stars matter. I am of the stars matter crowd. You go look at the recruiting profiles of teams across the country and the number of NFL players that turns into and who the best programs are and how they recruit. Stars absolutely matter. Stars, however, are not everything. So when you look at Sam Huard, I don't think he's someone that's capable of being a Power 4 starter in college football. I don't. Could he go start at the group of five? Probably. There are a number of different programs that would be able to benefit from having him in that room. But that five-star potential, look, the scouting community, it is a hard place to be. You cannot go 100%, and I don't think that was an accurate assessment given how his career has gone to this point. Doesn't mean he couldn't go start somewhere and make an impact for your team if you're a group of five school listening to or watching the show, which I thank you for doing, by the way. I'm a big fan of the G5, as you could tell from the first segment of today's show. But I don't think that Sam Huard is someone who is going to suddenly find a home and then pop and maximize his five-star potential. I think he's someone who can go start in G5 somewhere, maybe help a team contend for a conference championship. But he is not the only former Washington quarterback who's in the transfer portal.
Four-star quarterback DeMarcius Davis is in the transfer portal. This is the second time he's entered the transfer portal this offseason after originally deciding to do so after his original coach, Kalen DeBoer, decided to depart for Alabama. But he returned to Washington to give Jedd Fisch a shot during spring practice and appears to be the third quarterback on the depth chart behind another true freshman that was an early enrollee in quarterback Damon Williams, who has looked a lot more advanced this offseason. And Davis is a really, really promising player with tons of upside. He's got a really big arm, and as his frame continues to fill out, he looks like somebody who could be a really, really nice dual threat at the college level, but he just doesn't look as advanced as Damon Williams did through a whole bunch of spring practices and looks like he's going to be a great get wherever he ends up.
6'5", 190 pounds. What class do you think Davis was in? 2024. Now, I'm curious to see where he winds up because the talent is, of course, there. There is nothing proven about Davis at quarterback. Absolutely nothing for the former Husky. Shout out to my guy Roman Tomashoff of Locked On Huskies for the blurb right there. But there's so much to be learned about him as a quarterback recruit. He needs to go somewhere, not where he can start right away as a true freshman. That's not the expectation. That's not the need. Go find a veteran quarterback. Go find someone to sit behind. Go find an offensive coach. Go find a quarterback-friendly system. Someone who can develop you for a full year. That's where DeMarcius Davis is able, I think, to succeed if he's able to go somewhere in which, frankly, a situation similar to Washington's. It sounded like he just got beat out on the depth chart, didn't want to be the third guy, and he provides another example of a really fascinating trend. And that trend is guys commit in the class of 2024, and then they go through spring ball. One spring ball, not one practice, but one set of spring practices, and they don't like where they land on the depth chart and transfer out. Now, the transfer portal closes later today. I don't remember the exact time, but Tuesday, April 30th is the last day players can enter the portal. Remember, players can exit the portal at any time they would like, which is why when you hear the academic calendar argument brought up for why the calendar in college football has to be this way, it's all a bunch of nonsense. It is speaking gibberish. I will not hear said arguments. Thank you for raising them anyway, hypothetical YouTube commenter. So I think that Davis has got some options and he's got plenty of talent. And I just am bewildered by the number of guys we see entering the portal after a spring break, not a season. Okay, it's one thing if you go through a season and then maybe a transfer comes in, but you go through one spring ball and you decide, no, this isn't for me. Now, Davis, I believe, committed before Jed Fish had taken over, and so he was kind of waiting to see what he was going to do. You know, he committed on December 20th, 2023. So Kalen DeBoer was still there. And then he entered the portal. And then he withdrew in January. And Jed Fish took over. But now he's going back into the portal. It's just strange. It's just strange. It is becoming a more and more common occurrence. There is a safety from Alabama, for instance, who has done this. 4-star recruit in the class of 2023. He's in the transfer portal now, reportedly tied to a West Coast. Peyton Woodyard is the player that I'm talking about there. So it's just the world. Like, why not add another change, wrinkle, new element to it? So here's another quarterback name who I've mentioned before here on the show. Do you know Jakari Brown from Miami? He's going to UCF, not the only Hurricane going to be a Golden Knight.
Jakari Brown has entered the transfer portal. I am Alex Dono from Locked On Canes. Former Miami Hurricanes quarterback Jakari Brown is now in the portal with 3 years of eligibility remaining. This is a player, I'm sorry for Miami to lose him. Of course, was not going to be the starting quarterback this season with Cam Ward now in South Florida, but Brown is someone who has very high upside and has continued to develop since arriving at Miami since 2022. Had a really good spring game this past weekend, really flashed there. Brown is already a tremendous runner from the quarterback position. He's big and strong at 6'4", around 230 pounds, has great instincts as a runner, and he's got a strong arm as a passer. He's been developing more consistency with his deep throws. Not a finished product yet, but telling you, with 3 years of eligibility remaining, Jakari Brown's next team is getting a player with very high potential as a future starter in college football.
And what did I just say about great places for young quarterbacks to go? Find an offensive coach with a veteran quarterback to learn behind. He's going to UCF. UCF, yeah, the Golden Knights have, wait for it, veteran offensive coach Gus Malzahn, veteran quarterback KJ Jefferson. Yeah, don't forget about that as they go into their second year in the Big 12. UCF is making some moves. They're not even done making moves. They added Nigel Kelly, who's also a transfer on the edge at the defensive line position from Miami. They have been reportedly tied to Penny Boone, who is coming into the transfer portal from West Virginia. 24/7 Sports has got him as the top-rated running back in the portal available right now. Not necessarily in this entire cycle. There have been several guys who they'd rate ahead of him, but the top halfback in the portal, looking at the Golden Knights, Gus Malzahn and company, they are making some real moves, and I would watch for them in the Big 12. I would. I've always liked Gus Malzahn as a head coach. Did not think he was treated right at Auburn. I think KJ Jefferson is solid. And you look at what Gus Malzahn's building for the future. Jakari Brown could be the guy. Nigel Kelly in there. If they add Penny Boone, oh boy, look out for the Golden Knights. Just don't sleep on them, okay? They were the only new Big 12 team last year to make a bowl game, and they look like they could be at least as good, if not a little bit better than what they were a season ago. The NCAA cannot say the same thing about being in a position of strength right now.